everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a sort of writer's life vlog type of video, but it's probably going to be less about writing and more about life, which I hope is okay with you because, as you'll see in this video, I actually haven't been doing very much writing at all lately. You'll have to excuse the informal format of this video. It's one thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately is how I'm not really set up for this, this being YouTube. As much as I'd like to keep this part of my online presence going, realistically, I'm not really in a position to do it well, and I think maybe that's why I'm not really sticking to a schedule the way I had initially promised myself that I would. So in terms of what I've been doing in that time since I've gotten rid of social media, and furthermore, how it feels to not have social media and to still be trying to promote books. It's been very strange, okay? I like it. Okay, let me be honest about something. It's very lonely. I did decide to keep Reddit, even though I don't really consider Reddit to be social media, even though technically it is. But I did decide to keep it because it is my guilty pleasure. But not having that online community that Twitter offered, or used to offer, I should say, and not having a Facebook page, not having an Instagram handle, not having any of that stuff that I was previously dependent on for marketing and promotion has been so weird. There are times when I'm writing and publishing and, just doing the stuff that I need to do as a writer, and I still have that knee-jerk reaction like, oh, I should post this on Twitter, and then I stop and I go, oh wait, I can't do that. Am I glad I got rid of social media? Yes and no. Yes, because now I don't feel the constant pressure to measure up to people at a time when I'm kind of in between all different places. But at the same time, she heard me. Every time. Are you gonna come up? You're gonna come up, right? Oh my god. Okay, so this hasn't changed. This will be the one true constant when everything else is going to hell. Right? Anyway, ignoring her for a second because she's gonna come up in a moment. Maybe not. I don't know, I'm very curious now. There's a shift in the natural order of things. Just so you know, I'm not making this up. There she is. Gonna hold her. Maybe she won't jump up if I hold her. Right? Look at you. So, since I haven't been writing as much as usual, I have been forcing myself to read more and to take this time to refill the creative well. Now, in terms of what I've been reading, it's been really kind of diverse. I've been reading some fiction, some non-fiction. I've been going kind of back and forth on whether I should revisit some old series of books that I didn't get into that much when I was younger, but maybe now I'll have a greater appreciation for them. Like for instance, I did that with the Hunger Games and also the Divergent series, which I didn't love that much. You might as well come over here. No. Come here. Come here. Oh my goodness. I don't know, guys. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing. I've really been trying to finish this one particular series that I started a few years ago, and many of you are probably familiar with it. It's the Outlander series, which, if you're not familiar with it, basically the main character, she's on her honeymoon in Scotland, and one day she goes back to a site called Craignadoon, which is kind of like an ancient Scottish burial ground. And so when she's there, she ends up sort of falling back into time. And so she goes from 1945, I believe it is, to 1744, so just before the uprising. And when she's there, back in ancient Scotland, in 18th century Scotland, she ends up meeting Jamie Fraser, who is a Scottish, I guess, soldier. So I'm currently on the third book, which is Voyager. Compared to the previous two books, which were Outlander and Dragonfly and Amber, I didn't mind this one. I feel like it really kind of picked up in the second half of the novel, but the first half was kind of slow and I didn't really get into it. But the only reason I'm forcing myself to finish book 3 is because I want to read Drums of Autumn, because that's about when they go to the New World, America, and it's kind of the start of the American Revolution. And you know me, I love American history, so, or maybe you didn't know that. Yeah, fun fact about me, I love American history and geography and all that kind of stuff, which is partly the result of having to research it so much for my series, but yeah. I didn't mind Voyager. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being this is the best thing I've ever read, and I will recommend it to absolutely everybody I meet. It's like maybe a 7, 7.5. It was okay. It wasn't the worst book I've read by any measure. The other book that I've been reading, and when I say reading, I mean it in the very loosest sense of the term, because I'm not actually reading it page by page, because that would take me forever. But the other book that's been sort of like the main book in my life right now, aside from the one that I'm actually writing, is this bad boy right here. This is Sorrentino's Canadian textbook for the support worker. As you can tell, it is massive. It is almost 1,200 pages, and it's got all kinds of very interesting stuff in it about, range of motion exercises for patients who are bedridden, all kinds of things like, how to help people after surgery, and like all kinds of stuff that you would need to know in order to be a personal support worker. I think we arrive at the choices that we make when we're ready to actually take on that responsibility. Not before, not when someone tells us, hey, you should do this, but when we feel that we're ready, and I feel like I'm ready now. So this book has been kind of like the main resource that I've been consulting with. It's kind of like the weekly readings that I have to do are all in here. There are other textbooks like Human Anatomy and Physiology, and then there's also one for palliative care, which is, if you don't know, it's like end-of-life care, or hospice care, sometimes they call it. Now, there's one more thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, since it's the end of October, and for a lot of writers, this means that they're preparing for NaNoWriMo in November. I don't want to start another project right now, and I certainly don't want to start another project because the calendar tells me, hey, it's NaNoWriMo. I've never really found NaNoWriMo to be a terribly helpful exercise. The whole point of it really is just to cultivate the habit of writing every day. And on those grounds, I think it's great. But I think for someone who is scaling back, or someone who has a lot of commitments outside of writing, this might not be the best thing. But I'm not really one to tell people what to do. So, if you want to do it, by all means, do it and have fun with it. And, try not to get stressed out about word counts and numbers, because ultimately, you're never going to have a perfect first draft come out of Nano. It just does not happen. I feel like all of these incentives, I don't know if that's the right word, all of these events and goals and everything sort of designed to encourage people to create, I feel like sometimes they carry this pressure to always be productive. I was watching a video the other day on another YouTuber's channel, and she was talking about toxic productivity, especially in the writing industry, and I think that that's so apt. It's so apropos, because especially for something like NaNoWriMo, where you have to write 50,000 words in 30 days, that's a lot of pressure. Okay, that's over 1,600 words per day, and I don't know if you are also a writer or an author or just an average person who likes a challenge. That's a lot. Okay, like I've been writing for over 20 years, and that's still a lot for me. On a good day, which, I typically have one day out of the week that's my designated writing day, which is usually Sunday, but these days I work on the weekend, so that's not always an option. But anyway, even on a good day, sometimes I can't get 1,600 words. So on a bad day, you can imagine how insurmountable a goal like that can feel. All of that to say, I have one idea. I don't know why I held up two fingers. I have one idea. One. And I'm not 100% on board with it. And at this point in my writing career, or writing life, or whatever you want to call it, if I'm not all in, I'm out. I do want to continue writing, just at my own pace. At a pace that works for me and my schedule. I think I've said just about everything I wanted to say, everything that I could think of saying for this particular video. So how about I just cut to this cheerful little montage of things that I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day, and you can kind of get a little bit of a glimpse or some insight into my daily routine. I'm sorry it's not going to be as edited or as filtered or as pretty as some of the other montages out there, but I promise I'd keep it real. And the reality is, I'm just an ordinary person sitting in front of my phone, which is currently propped up against a Tupperware container. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't have the latest tech. But yeah, I'm just an ordinary person trying to do my best. Hey, buddy. Hey, sweetheart. Handsome one-eyed boy. You guys hungry? Well, there you have it. Not too much else exciting going on around here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little writer's life vlog, video, whatever we're gonna call it. You can decide what you want to call it. And I'm going to probably get on with making dinner and washing this mountain of dishes. I don't have a dishwasher, so things tend to pile up pretty quickly, but that's okay. Anyway, guys, wherever you are, I hope you're doing well and you're staying safe, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks.